approach every interaction like it's the last interaction on planet Earth. Now, has it ever happened to you that you've gone out to the venue to do some approaches? Maybe it's your first approach, or maybe it's your 100 approach. It really doesn't matter. You've gone out to the venue, you see that pretty girl walking by, and you're just unable to approach.
Don't do it.
Right in front of me.
Doesn't matter, bro.
What happens is when you see the girl walking by and the moment of truth hits that you have to approach her, you have a lot of negative thoughts. Oh my god, how am I going to do this approach? What am I going to say? Are people watching me? What if people watch me? What if this approach is not successful? What if she rejects me? You basically place her on a pedestal and you're dependent on a certain outcome, which is either the number or it can be as small as just having a positive conversation. So you have an outcome in your mind, your expectations are set over here, and you think you will not be able to meet those expectations. And that causes a lot of approach anxiety. Now I want to share my recent experience. So recently I was out and I just completed the Attraction Academy session, and I was pretty pumped up for the night game session. Now, when I went out on Friday and Saturday and ended up getting bitten by a girl. Also, what happened was I had a slight mindset shift. And the mindset shift I'm going to talk about later in this video. But what I want to tell you is my experience. So I approached the first girl, ended up taking her home. And the second night I went out, I approached the first girl. It was a really good conversation. I was out with the client and there was a guy that just came in the interaction. The guy was the girl's boyfriend and he was just talking to us and it was a good conversation. However, nothing happened. Alright, so we didn't get demoralized. We did the second approach and the second approach ended up being a pull. Now I actually went out on a streak. Now this streak was only possible because of a slight mindset shift that I want to talk about today. So no matter if you're a beginner who has done 0 approaches or you think you're intermediate, maybe you've done 1,000 approaches, it really doesn't matter because what I'm going to share with you is going to brush up your game skills, brush up your approaches, is going to kill approach anxiety forever. So if you're watching this, you really don't have to watch another video on approach anxiety after this. And that is the whole objective of the video, to give you everything to work with so you can completely overcome your approach anxiety. So if you like this kind of content, hit the like button, the subscribe button and the bell button right next to it so you don't miss out on any videos.
Bro, ugly सा, बहुत ugly सा. ये तमिल वमिल बोलेंगे यार. मिसकैलिब्रेशन होगी, बता रहा हूँ. आगे देखते हैं, बेटर सेट देखते हैं. मैं तेरे को बता रहा हूँ, मैं प्री कैलिब्रेट कर सकता हूँ. You will learn. Excuse me. I just wanted to say hi.
Hi.
How is your trip going so far?
I'm good.
What's your name? I don't know. Nice to meet you.
So this was 2 years back, this was in Goa and I was not really feeling like approaching. And the funny thing is that I think I conquered my approach anxiety recently. Alright, now you guys might be shocked that this guy has been doing it for the past decade and he's conquered it recently, and you might be having a lot of questions. How many approaches is it gonna take to completely overcome the approach anxiety? Now, one thing you need to understand is removing approach anxiety is a process. And what I realized about my own pickup journey or my own dating journey was the way I was looking at approach anxiety was a little bit wrong. Alright, I was looking at it through tricks and techniques, which is like the 5-second rule, and just focus on your breathing when you're going to approach the girl, and most of that what is advocated online. Alright, so I sat down and I was just thinking, it's been a decade I've been approaching women, going out, coaching men, going around the globe, coaching men to approach women, and still I feel that approach anxiety. Why is that? Alright, so I dive deep into that. So first thing is you need to understand your true self. You need to understand your own self, and basically all of you would have 2 kind of states, alright? One is the higher vibrational state and one is the lower vibrational state. Now what I mean by the higher vibrational state is when you're feeling good, when you're feeling positive, maybe you're out with your friends, alright? You're having a joke with your friends, you're out at a bar and you see a girl and you just approach her. At that time, you're not going to feel a lot of fear because you're feeling positive, and the fear is not going to affect you as much as it would when you're in the lower vibration. Now, lower vibrational self would be when you're kind of sad, when you're frustrated, when you're angry. Alright, think about the last time when you're angry or when you're frustrated. What happens at that point of time is when you go out, maybe it's your first time doing an approach and you're nervous. And when you go out, you're just standing in the corner, you're wasting a lot of time. Alright, at that point of time, you need to understand that fear is going to hit you differently. Fear is going to get amplified. Alright, fear is going to get amplified because you're anyways feeling a little negative, and because of that, any negative emotion will get amplified. So when you're in your lower vibration self, what you need to do is you need to sit down and you need to positively reframe whatever is going on. So for example, if I'm going out and I'm feeling all nervous, like, oh my god, I'm out here in this club alone, I shouldn't be approaching. What if these girls figure out I'm out here alone? then what will happen is automatically I will have a lot of approach anxiety. But if I positively reframe it, now you can positively reframe it by, I'm getting the time to go out alone, just enjoy the music, maybe enjoy a drink or something, and just talk to a beautiful girl. If you positively reframe it like that, then you will not have those many fears. Which basically means when the girl approaches you, you will be completely confident and calm with the fact that you're out there in the bar alone, and you would be talking to her like that. Hey, yeah, I'm here out alone, enjoying my own company. What about you? Have you ever done it before? But if you're out there and if you're thinking, no, oh shit, I hope she doesn't figure out, then you're going to act like that, and it's going to increase your approach anxiety a lot. You might not be able to approach, and even if you approach, you might freeze.
Excuse me, sorry to bother you. I just wanted to come over and say I really like your jumpsuit. So keep it up. My name is. Oh, okay. I'll catch you a little later.
Now let's talk about how you can overcome approach anxiety. Now the first thing is motivation. Now personally, I don't believe in motivation because motivation is very short-lived. But when you're a beginner, if you're just starting out, anything that pushes you forward is good. And now there's positive motivation to learn game and learn dating, and then there's negative motivation. Now my own personal experience, if you ask me, I started game and social skills because of a negative motivation, alright? I had my girlfriend cheating on me, and I knew if I don't figure out female psychology at that point in time, I know if I don't go out and approach and work on my dating life, nothing is going to happen. I'm going to be in the same situation forever. And that's what my negative motivation was. I had to get out of one situation to go someplace else. And that was my negative motivation. Now, there can be positive motivations as well. For example, you want to clear a job interview. You want to improve your social calibration. You want to build an extremely high net worth social circle. You want to build your communication skills. All of that you're doing for yourself, and that should be a positive motivation to do that approach, all right? So what you need to do is you need to take the positive motivations, you need to take the negative motivations in whatever state you are in, and you need to motivate your own self to do the approach. Now, why do I say motivation is short-lived? Because I don't teach any of my clients about motivation. Now, the reason is because I can motivate you one day to do that approach. Maybe you see a video and you're pumped up. You're like, hey man, I saw that video, and we get a lot of comments like these. Hey man, thank you for the video. I approached this girl. But that is short-lived. You need to understand you cannot rely on motivation, you cannot rely on tricks and techniques. I'm going to come to that, but that is going to be short-lived. So what you need to do is you need to have discipline. That is the second thing, which is discipline. Now, when I'm working with my clients, I have this habit tracker built for my clients, specifically a life organizer basically, and I'm going to put some screenshots over here so you can check it out. And this life planner is basically to keep the guys self-accountable, and that's what you need to do. With discipline, one thing you need to understand is you need to be self-accountable. You cannot depend on anyone, because the more you depend on people, the more chances of you losing consistency. And that's one thing I was looking at with my clients, that consistency of course kills a lot of anxiety. If you're going to approach some woman 3 to 4 days or 3 to 4 nights, that's going to kill your anxiety. On the 4th night, you're going to automatically feel less anxiety because you're in a momentum. So that's why discipline is required. Now, one thing is, I don't want you to depend on anyone. I've shared the screenshots of the habit tracker. Now, personally, I'm no developer, all right? We paid a lot of money to a developer to build this life organizing template for our clients. And I think you can do a basic version for your own self just by looking at how we built it. Now, that is something that you need to track every day. You need to track everything, all right? You cannot lie to your own self. You need to see how many days you're going out. Because a lot of people think that, hey man, I'm going out 2 to 3 days since the last year. I'm not getting any real results. But what happens is when they look closely, they're not going out 2 to 3 days on a consistent basis. They're missing out on the consistency. And that is one of the major reasons people leave this, because without consistency, you cannot get results. That is just how it is. Another thing that gives you a lot of approach anxiety is not having enough knowledge. And guys, that's why we have this channel over here. You can check out all the videos in the channel. And I'm sure if you check out all the videos in the channel, you will learn this skill, all right? If you check out all the videos, you implement them, you go out consistently, you will learn the skill. And we've just made a last video which was about conversation starters. So if you have that problem that you're in the field and you're like, I don't know what opener to use, or I don't know how to initiate the conversation, I'll add a link over here. Just click on that link and check out that video. And towards the end of the video, I'm also going to give you my step-by-step process, which I give to my clients, which helps them overcome approach anxiety completely. And by following this step-by-step process after watching this video, I'm sure you will be able to approach any girl you kind of like or you kind of see out there walking in the street, in the bar. It really doesn't matter. Now, the third most important factor when it comes to overcoming your approach anxiety is the mindset. Now, you need to build a mindset that goes against resistance, and that is what game, social skills, or pickup teaches you. Is basically when you're going out, you're feeling that anxiety and you're sort of addicting your own self to go against that anxiety, and that is what you need to do. Now, how to train your mindset. You can read a lot of books about mindset. My personal favorite book about mindset is Winning by Tim Grover. So I would suggest you read that if you have not. Realization that actually helped my mindset a lot in that particular night when I went out, consecutively I ended up pulling, was basically that my ancestors have killed saber-tooths, they have killed mammoths just for me to be here, and I'm scared of approaching a girl. I was sort of looking at myself from a third person's perspective, and I made this whole situation more funny, and I sort of motivated myself to do that particular approach. Now, not only that, I want to share a step-by-step process that is not only going to help you with the approach, but it's also going to help you build a bulletproof mindset when it comes to dating and game. Now, the step-by-step method to have a good field experience wherever you are, whether you're going to a mall, a beach, a daytime location or a nighttime location like a bar, a club, it really doesn't matter. If you follow this step-by-step process, you're gonna have consistent good field experience. What I mean is you're gonna enjoy the time when you're out there approaching women. Step number 1, I want you to approach 5 guys in under 5 minutes, and this is something that we make people do on our boot camps as soon as they come, because what this does is it gets you out of your own head. It sort of minimizes the anxiety because you've done so many approaches. And over here, the first thing is you will not get a lot of anxiety because I'm not telling you to approach them, talk to them, take the number. What I'm saying is just go there. Hey man, nice shoes. Hey, you guys look great together. Hey, something which is a compliment, which is validating them, a little high five if you can, and just walk past. You're not expecting a conversation, you're not expecting anything in return. Also, what it does is it lowers your expectation. It lowers your expectation, which massively boosts your confidence. Now, step number 2 is do the next 5 approaches, but not with the objective of getting their numbers or getting them attracted. The objective should be, I want to get rejected and I want to make this conversation really funny for me. Alright, I want to pump up my own state and I want to get rejected from the next 5 girls I approach. That should be the objective. Now, what this does is you will see when you're doing those approaches to get rejected, I want you to say funny shit. I want you to say funny shit which is going to pump up your own state. And what you will see is those approaches are going to be sort of successful also because the girls would be interested. But you don't care about that, alright? That's just an observation. What I've noticed is when I'm going to girls to get rejected, I'm so out there, I'm so expressive, I don't really care, I don't have any filters, and that is what gets the girl attracted as well. But the objective is simple. I want to get rejected in the next 5 approaches, pumping up my own state. Now, what this would do for you is it would kill the validation seeking behavior where you're sort of seeking a reaction or validation from the girl, and it would also kill your outcome dependency. Now you would start enjoying the process a lot more, and that is something that you need to literally kill your approach anxiety. Now, once you've followed the step number 1, you've followed step number 2, you're already enjoying the process. You're already free from outcome, all right? You're not dependent on a particular outcome. You're not validation seeking anymore. And now, for step number 3, I want you to imagine that the next approach that you're going to do is going to be the last approach on planet Earth. And with that, I want to share a story. So the other night when I was out, I was approaching this girl, and this is a sort of a slight mindset shift that I had, that every approach I'm going to do is going to be like my last approach on planet Earth. And that's the reason I just had to do 2 approaches before I could take a girl home, because the first approach, it didn't work out. The guy came in. The second approach, as I approached her, she was like, I'm with my brothers. Now, at this point of time, 90% of the guys would think like, oh, there's no point of pursuing this girl because she's with her brothers and I will not be able to take her home because the brothers won't agree. But guys, this was a club in Delhi and the girl was actually just with her friends. She was just with her friends who she was calling her brothers, and she met one of the guys and she's like, hey, I'm going to ask my brother if I can come for an after party. And I was like, hey, let's go together. Why don't we ask him together? Now, the reason I did that was because I really felt that, okay, this is the last interaction on planet Earth. So why not just give it my all? Why not see where it takes me? And that is the sort of mindset shift that is going to help you with your approaches, because what would a normal guy do in that kind of situation? He would probably leave that situation, go look for another girl, leave that situation early, go look for another girl, and never commit to an interaction. And this particular mindset shift allows me to commit to interactions. And that's what I want you to do. So when you go out, try to minimize the time between taking these steps, all right? Try to minimize the time between interactions. Once task number 1 and task number 2 is complete, try to commit to each and every interaction, because if you don't commit to each and every interaction, you will not be able to steer it where you want it to go. That being said, I still want you to be socially calibrated enough to understand not to do so many approaches if you're getting rejected back to back in the same spot. I mean, just walk 100 meters away, walk maybe 200 meters away. So follow that and I'm sure you'll get good results, and let me know in the comment section below what you learned from this video. And if you really want to upgrade your dating life this year, and if you're really serious about this, you want to work with me and my team, hop on a call with my team and let's see what we can do for you.